Hey there, Melanie Nelson here, serial entrepreneur, international trainer, and speaker. Hey, want to talk today about taking a leap of faith. Now, faith is a funny thing. It's, most people describe it as believing in something you can't see. But I believe that that belief has a lot to do with trust. And when you're taking a leap of faith in your own life, towards a goal, moving directions or changing directions, that kind of thing, it has everything to do with how much you trust yourself, okay? And what I mean by that is, do you trust yourself to do the work, to see it through, to finish what you start? Most people are terrible at that. And that is exactly why most people experience not getting what they want, not achieving the goals they set, and then therefore they shy away from setting goals altogether because they feel like a failure. And so, except that's the perpetual cycle in the wrong direction. That's the cycle that makes you mistrust yourself and not take a leap of faith. Okay? Every time that you don't keep an agreement that you have set for yourself, like I'm going to get up when my alarm clock goes off, or I'm going to stop eating so many cookies, or I'm going to get healthy and lose 10 pounds, or whatever agreement you make with yourself, if you don't keep those small ones, you certainly are not going to be in a position to take a large leap of faith in your life and change directions or go for something really big. The thing is that most people hope, wish, and pray for those big things in life, right? And the truth is what most people don't understand is that they come from trusting yourself, and the only way to build that trust bank is to keep all of the little agreements, like being on time and getting up when your alarm clock goes off and exercising when you say you would exercise and following through on that project or that task or that thing that you really said yes to, but you really probably meant no, and just finishing it and moving on and taking it off your plate, right? So those types of things. And when we build the trust bank, we can achieve anything, because then we have that confidence in ourselves that no matter what happens, no matter if we're taking a choice, we're literally doing the leap of faith by choice, or sometimes, how many of you have ever happened where life just threw that your way? It took your life and went, woo, we're going this way now, and you didn't have a choice, right? And sometimes people, they don't make moves because they're afraid of not being able to handle that. And the truth is that every single one of you has the ability to handle whatever comes your way, because every single one of you has warrior genes within you. What I mean by this is that if your genealogy is still on planet Earth, it's because your ancestors survived war, disease, famine, ice ages, you name it. We have survived. We were the strongest of the strong that survived. And there's some genealogies, obviously, that didn't make it. And we don't know who they are because they're not here today, but we are. And so you are far more capable than you give yourself credit for. You are far more powerful, and you are far more strong than you give yourself credit for. But oftentimes, we dip our toe in and the water is a little hot or the water is a little cold, and we're like, ooh, that's not what I'm used to. I'm used to this lukewarm mediocrity. And lukewarm mediocrity feels really, really good because I just get to check out mentally, watch my reality TV, and keep going on autopilot. But at the end of the day, we're not happy, we're not fulfilled. Those are the things that numb us out to what's in our heart to achieve. And so I say, wake up, do the work, and you will find that you can trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way, whether life is throwing it at you or you take a choice and you make a leap of faith in your life. Now I'm going to go from the other side of the spectrum here For those of you who are sales professionals, if you're selling anything, and really all of you are sales professionals, because in any career, in any job, in any business, in anything, you're selling yourself. You are constantly selling yourself with your presence, your attitude, and your work ethic, and your results that you're producing, even if you have a job, even if you clock in, okay, even if you have a boss. You're there because you're sufficient, okay? And if you continue to be sufficient, somebody may replace you. So you have to perform, right? And so don't ever think that you're not in sales, because you are. And your results will speak for themselves. What you create, what you contribute to the market is your message. It's like, this is my stamp. And you have to decide if you're happy with that, because your boss might not be, and they might replace you. So if you're in sales, people don't buy from people they like, although that helps. It does help. But they buy from people that they respect and they trust. Coming back to this trust thing, right? That's why when we walk into stores and the salesperson comes up to us and says, they're about to say, what can I help you? What are you looking for? Things like that. And you're like, I'm just looking, right? Because nobody likes to be sold, but everybody likes to buy. And what does that mean? That means that we don't trust that person yet, because they're coming up to us with a sales pitch, right? So rather than it's like, hey, good morning, how are you? And then just walking off. I mean, that is actually the better thing to do, right? Because it's like, hey, I don't need you. And I don't need you to buy from me, and I don't need you to like me. This is a very powerful statement, and people like it. It creates more respect, and ultimately more trust at the end of the day if you follow through with some great sales and relationship and people techniques, okay? Look them in the eye, make eye contact, smile, say, hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. If you need anything, let me know. And then you walk off the other direction. This is just retail sales, okay? But in any sales situation, if your main concern subconsciously is, I want people to like me, you're not gonna get anywhere, okay? You're gonna end up broke. Naked and alone and afraid. No, I'm kidding. But people will, if they like you, they're going to shower you with compliments for sure. And they're, going to encourage you probably, but they're not necessarily going to buy from you. And so creating trust and respect become first and foremost. And how you create that is through confidence. How you create confidence is through trusting yourself, right? And so being able to walk with your head up and your shoulders back and be like, hey, I got this. Whether you buy from me or not, whether you buy from me or not, whether you buy from me or not, I got this, okay? I'm going somewhere. And that confidence comes from trusting yourself, having that posture, right? You can fake it till you make it. Absolutely, I did it in the beginning. I was young. I had no experience. I was fresh out of college. I was broke, so I had no money. I had no experience. I had no credibility. I was just this young girl with a lot of motivation and dreams, okay? I definitely faked it till I made it. I started dressing differently. I started talking differently. I started acting differently in my professional life so that I could get to the next level. And I was working on myself, and I was working on keeping my agreements. And I was building that self-confidence and trust bank, in behind the scenes. Nobody knew this was happening. This is what was going on behind the scenes while I showed up in my career, more powerful than I actually felt, okay? And so how you create that confidence where you can instill trust and respect from other people is truly by building that trust and confidence in yourself. And really that when you do that, what happens is you don't care anymore what people think, because you know who you are. And you'll always care a little bit. It's like human nature, okay? There's always like this little devil, he's right there, and he's like, meh, 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 right? But he doesn't control you. He's not running your life, you know, worrying about what other people think, is probably always going to be there to a certain degree. However, it can be drastically reduced to the point where it's just an energy you give off, right? And it does instill a feeling of trust and respect. It's like, oh man, you know, I get that feedback all the time. I mean, you got your shit together. You know, it's like, yeah, I freaking do. You know, but you didn't see all the hard work that went into making that happen, right? Like, I didn't have shit, and now I got my shit together, right? And so there's a process to that, folks. And so the key being is that you have to put the work in. Do the work. Almost every successful person and thought leader that's out there on YouTube and, you know, teaching and training from stage is saying that message. Why? Because we are living in a time on planet Earth where people have forgotten that we actually have to work for stuff. You know, it used to be that you had to tend the farm and plant the seeds and hoe it with like an animal and like an ox and like equipment that you held by your hand. I mean, this is recent human history, you guys. It's only in the last 60 years that flying across the planet became commonplace, okay? We used to have to, you know, really work at everything. We had to work at getting information and getting educated. We had to work at making food, right? So we had to plant it, till it, and then harvest it, and then, you know, do stuff with that and mill it, and you know, like it took like a whole season to make a loaf of bread, right? Now we can go to the grocery store and just buy it. We can go to a gas station and get bread in the form of cookies and muffins and junk, right? Twinkies, which is really not food. Food-like substances, right? Now we can buy food-like substances out of a window. We can get in our cars, which most families have multiple now. I mean, the amount of convenience and comfort that we are experiencing in human history has never been like this ever, flippin' ever. The fact that you can pick up I'm like, where's my mobile? It's right there. You can pick up your cell phone. You can tap it with your finger, and in seconds, you can learn a new skill. You can take a course. You can go to university. You can do anything within seconds with this little device that fits into your pocket. People have forgotten how to work. Literally, we've just forgotten because we don't have to anymore. There is no such thing as real hard work anymore unless you work outside, unless you have a trade. And that's disappearing here in the US, you know, to have a hard-working trade. And I'm talking about like landscaping and welding and electrical work and construction, and that's hard work. That's like you're using your body, you're using your brain. I mean, and you're sweating and you're outside in the elements. And I mean, like, that's the true human experience here, folks. And I actually, and some of us who like crave it, we go out and like we camp and we hike the mountains and we go connect with nature because there's a part of those warrior genes that still need that. And so I encourage you, excuse me, I'm getting all passionate and now I'm coughing. So here we go. I'm saying, go out and challenge your body. Go out and get connected with nature and tap into those warrior genes so that you can build trust in yourself, so you can keep your agreements. Go do something that scares you so you can build trust and confidence in yourself, and you will get better results in your life. You will get better results in your sales, and you will be a more happy and fulfilled person, I promise. So do the work.